Cincy ladies came to town to see us. Down to Cincinnati, town to see us. We'll have a lot of fun, you will agree. And we'll show you a thing or two, yes, sirree, down at the 50 Club.
How well I remember. Looking back over the years, these early black and white kinescope recordings hide much of her energy and charisma. They are the fuzzy shadows and forms of the infant days of television broadcasting. They hold only an inkling of the vitality that held us spellbound to our sets.
How's my tie? My hair.
Every day when the clock strikes 12 o'clock.
As time of fun begins, so throw away your every dog and care. All the
Good evening, I'm Pat Berry. This is a very special occasion for me. You see, I first learned about Ruth Lyons at my mother's knee. Our household television was tuned each day to the 50-50 Club. My mother's devotion, like the thousands of other housewives who also watched, was unquestioning. And I too became a fan, singing the songs and watching for the kids to start marching. Now, unfortunately, we have very little visual record of those days. They were the days of live television. No canned presentations here. What films and tapes that do survive have undergone the ravages of time. So at the onset, I'd like to apologize if some of these scenes are not up to our usual quality standards. But we are compelled to show them so that you may catch a glimpse of the lady who ruled housewives' lives for so many years. For no star was brighter, no person more idolized. Now, to help tell her story, we've turned to her friends. Ruby Wright, Bonnie Lou, Marion Spellman, and Cliff Lash. From behind the scenes, Elsa Sewell, former producer Bill Guston, former director Ron Wilson, Executive Secretary Mickey Fisher, and former Client Services Director Bill McCluskey.
She started first in radio, you know.
And that was back in 1929.
She got a job at WKRC Radio playing the piano.
One day, the host of one of the shows got sick.
And they shoved her in front of a mic.
And they gave her a script.
Well, you know she just tore it up. She always tore up scripts.
She gave everybody heart failure.
She ad-libbed her way through the whole show.
All the clients loved it.
But, you know, she always said that it was the flood of 1937 that really made her a broadcaster.
Oh, my, yes.
And we went downtown and we got in a boat, a police boat that they were using for rescue work down along 3rd Street. And as we rode around in this boat, we rode over the tops of the street lamps. You would notice little buoys in the water, you know, and I thought, what in the world? And he said, those are the street lights. Now, this was pretty frightening to me.
The flood was a terrible tragedy.
And that's when she became an on-the-spot reporter.
Everyone from miles around listened to every word.
They wouldn't have known what to do or where to go if Ruth hadn't been the one to tell them.
It didn't matter how tired she was.
She just kept on reporting.
She came to WSAI Radio in 1942.
That's when she married her dear husband, Herman Newman.
Her first show for WSAI was Petticoat Party Line.
WSAI was owned by WLW Radio.
It wasn't long before she landed on WLW Radio.
She did the old WLW show from the Gibson Hotel.
And they called it the 50 Club because that was the seating capacity of the room where they did the show.
And everybody who came got lunch.
And of course, when television came along, it was just natural that Ruth was asked to do a television show.
It was a time of experimentation for the Crosley television stations. Ruth Lyons worried about how she would be received by the television audience. Before she made the transition, she discussed her concerns with her radio audience.
You gotta look your best.
I gotta wear a shirt.
Shirt, shoes. And this man told his wife to tell me to quit worrying about my slip showing and worry about my show slipping.
You know, we were all new in those days.
Each day was so exciting.
You had to think on your feet because you had to be constantly ready to improvise. There was no one there to train you.
Except Ruth. She was wonderful.
You know, some of the things that she did on that show were really outrageous.
You know, we tried a new mic last week, and it was one without a cord, and it had its own little aerial, and it picked up my stomach so bad that they had to take it away. That's what they said. I don't think that's it at all. I don't think it was perfected. But I kept rubbing it against me. You know, how can you help it? I mean, I couldn't walk like this all the time. Who is that? Out of I told you Friday that that's to go out. Come here to bring that over here once more for the last time. I will not have that on this show. It looks too much like me, and I won't have it.
You see that? The audience loved her.
Did you all get a pie today from those wonderful sponsors of ours?
3 cherry pies under my seat.
You've got 3 cherry pies under your seat. You mean 2 people couldn't come today? Oh, I'm sorry. And you took their pies?
She told me to. The girl told me to.
This is dishonest. Really, it is.
Hey, listen, I got 3 chances on everything, so if I don't win today, boy. Remember, the last time I was down, I didn't win anything. I got...
No, I don't remember. When was that?
December the 21st.
Last December. I should remember she didn't win anything. We did dance. I remember that. Yes.
Now, today, I want to come up and sit there, and I want you to sing my favorite song, Let's Light the Christmas.
Today?
Just for me.
We don't open the Christmas fund till a week from tomorrow. I can't do the Christmas.
I'm here today.
I just hope that sometime before I leave this show, I can do my own show without you all running it.
She was an entertainer.
It's incredible how she could come up with a tune.
E-M-G-E-E, how good can a pretzel be? Now, what's something about the product? Oh, what did you say about it before we started to build the song?
Chris?
Well, why can't you put that in?
Always Chris.
It's salty, too, isn't it?
Real good and salty.
All right. Crisp and salty. You'll agree.
Chris, who will agree? Unless you try it.
Well, whoever you're singing it to.
And salty, you'll agree. Sure good tempty pretzels. Sure good tempty pretzels.
Bound to suit you to a T.
Come on, everybody sing it now. A T-E-M-P-E-E. How good can a pretzel be? Crisp and salty, you'll agree. Sure good tempty pretzels are the suited to a T-E-M-P-E-E. How good can a pretzel be? Crisp and salty, you'll agree. Sure good tempty pretzels are the suited to a T-E-M-P-E-E. How good T-E-M-P-E-E.
The mail came in from all over.
Everybody wanted tickets.
The show was booked for 3 years in advance.
And when we took the Ruth Lyons show on the road,
People would line up before dawn.
The crowds were unbelievable.
So in spite of Ruth Lyons' early fears, her show hadn't slipped. It was a sensation. Not only did she attract a huge and fanatic audience, she and her show became a magnet for most of broadcasting's major awards.
Karen, will you carry a beautiful pink plastic bottle of Gentle Fells? So you can drop that, your hands get slippery, and it will never break, and you don't lose it. It scares them to death every time I do that, you know. Stock up, kids. It's really worth it. You'll love it for all your dishwashing.
Ruth Lyons could sell. She probably could have sold anything, but she wouldn't. She would not accept any product unless she tried it. She had to like it and be absolutely convinced it was the highest quality.
And her selling approach was completely personal.
She'd ask him outright, have you tried this?
Have you tried the Knorr soups? How many have tried the Knorr soups? Well, then why should I worry? I mean, what's the matter with you? Why haven't you tried them? Now, there's such a woman in the prime of life and hasn't enjoyed the Knorr soups. What's your trouble? Are you just stubborn or what? Don't you like good soup? You make most of your own, but aren't there times when you want to fix a little bowl of soup in a hurry for lunch or something? Well, you must try one of those Knorr soups. They're
well, she could give the clients fits, believe me.
Now, I mean, that's ridiculous. How carried away can you get over a mop?
I guess part of the secret was she believed that they would try what she told them to try.
Now, I want to see these little blue jars of Mary Lowell hand cream on the dressing tables of all the gals all summer long. As you grow older, you have to think of these things. As a matter of fact, Willie, the older you get, the more grease you need.
Yes, I guess so.
We get calls from clients all the time saying, hey, Mac, what's going on?
Brillo.
You get Brillo.
I can't get excited about that.
If you ever get a dirty pan, you will, or a pitted pot.
I know, but I just can't get worked up about it for some reason.
They say to me, why, she's making fun of my product.
What do you say about that, Robert?
Well, if you have pitted pots, you have a problem, you see.
You have what?
Pitted pot.
Pitted.
Because it has this pink polishing soap for pitted pots in there. It's beautiful, yes.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh about a nice sponsor like that. Now, you hold it, Bobby. You like to hold that.
shall.
And then Ruth would settle down the next day, and she would just give that product a great pitch.
However, with your Lynn mop, you do have something that I think you don't realize, and that is this. It has so many other uses other than just mopping floors. Because the secret of the Lynn mop is that you can wring it so absolutely dry.
And that's when they'd call me up in a couple of days and tell me that they just couldn't keep up with the demand for that product.
Oh, yeah. She knew how to sell all right.
The crew called her mother.
She was almost like a mother hen, and the crew was her brood, her flock, and she was going to take care of it.
She felt personally involved with each one of us.
If you were single, you were fair game, and she was going to match you up with somebody.
Any unmarried ones? Yeah. Peter, honey, I want you to come over here. Clifford, come here. Where are you going? Lucy, what is your last name?
Riveri.
Lucy, this is Mr. Lay.
How do you do, Lucy?
Lucy, are you going steady?
No.
Oh, good. There's an opportunity. Ever been engaged?
No.
Under 29?
No. Yeah.
Never ask a woman her age.
Well, that's all right. I think that's all right in my case.
Lucy, you'll wait after the show we have a room where I have the boys meet the girls again, get better acquainted. You'll wait, will you?
Sure.
All right.
She could be very direct on the show.
Oh, your kids are just going to sit here today and not do anything?
I don't know. We had
Look at Marion sitting back there, just leaning back, waiting for her afternoon show.
Sometimes she would say things that would startle everybody and absolutely bring down the house.
Bonnie, tell me something. Are you pregnant? Well, I want to know. I've been here.
May I say, Miss Lyons, that I'm not?
Well, thank you. I'm glad to say I'll never kid you about it.
Have I ever been flattered?
I just don't like to kid about things like
No,
that.
I am not.
I
If
don't
the
think
Lord
they should
blesses
kid you
us
about
with the
that.
baby, that'll be fine, but I am not.
Well, I'm glad. I didn't know. Nobody told me. Now you know. She is not.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm beginning to doubt now.
No, I'm psychologically, I'm pregnant, you know?
Oh, I see.
No, I'm not.
What are you going to say?
Rockabye your baby.
Oh, good. That's a good one.
And the boys got kidded, too.
Well, you keep out of this, Bobby. I'll run my railroad and you run yours.
Okay, Paul.
And she had a marvelous sense of humor.
Now, Peter, you do one.
This is tenderleaf tea. And when you feel ill, you know, Ruth, didn't you find when you were at home?
No, I like coffee.
She was very exciting to work for. She was very different.
As a director, I never knew what she was going to do or where she was going to go next. It was totally unpredictable, but it was a lot of fun.
She could make you run when she spotted something wrong.
Bill, now I want to talk to you like a mother. Come here. How many times have I asked you to get this woman out of here and keep her out? We've sold Serta mattresses for 900 years, and we don't need this horrible negative approach that you have to look like this before you buy a mattress. Well, they'd scare the salesman to death if you came in. Would you raise your right hand? Now, will you say, repeat after me. I promise.
I promise.
To get this woman out of here.
Get this woman out of here.
And keep her out.
Keep her out.
So help me.
So help me.
Okay.
What are the agency men going to say?
The agency man. Out! Out!
And every time she saw a new face, she rest assured she was going to pull him out and give him a quick interview. They always ended with, just remember, I'm running this show.
That part where you do just do that fiddle stuff. Dee-lee-lee-lee. I thought you boys played too loud when they were fiddling.
You know how she loved music.
Especially Christmas songs.
She wrote a new one each year.
But there was one that wasn't written for Christmas.
It's called Wasn't the Summer Short? And wasn't it? Ruby, don't you think that you ought to sing it for us today, right now? Would you like to have her sing it right now?
Wasn't the summer short? Didn't it seem to fly? Where are those nights we thought we'd find our love beneath the summer sky?
Wasn't the Summer Short was a Ruth Lyons hit. It was recorded by Johnny Mathis and later by Peter Nero. While the 50-50 Club audiences grew, so did the list of celebrities who visited the Ruth Lyons set.
Well, there was Jimmy Durante.
Liberace.
Errol Garner.
Carol Channing.
And Buddy Hackett. Smothers Brothers. Ethel Waters.
Arthur Godfrey.
And there was Milton Berle, Phyllis Diller, Cab Calloway, Tony Randall, Helen Hayes, and dozens of others.
There was one special guest that everyone remembers.
When I saw the mic, is that a regular thing?
This is a regular thing. We started out with one small rose on here, and it's grown through the years.
Well, those are sponsors.
No, these aren't sponsors. We just figure I have to carry this mic. I don't like to see a girl with a mic hanging around her neck,
I
you
believe
see.
it. I think you're right.
And so I have to carry a mic, and we decided to put something on it to hide it a little bit. You've never heard me sing.
Why don't we do a little something?
I will if you'll join us.
All right.
All right, come on. Let me put it in the... This may close something. Let us entertain you. Let me make you smile. I will try a few tricks, some old and then some new tricks. I'm very versatile. And if you're real good, I'll make you feel good. I want your spirits to rock.
And though the stars came to the 50/50 Club, the studio audiences came to see and be with Ruth Lyons. She was their star, and they came from miles around to see her.
Where's everyone from? Couldn't we act like a group of ladies and gentlemen today? Look at this nice man here, so well behaved. He didn't shout. Where are you from? Bell Fountain. Anybody from Dayton today? Dayton here. Columbus. Troy. Where's Troy? Xenia. Salina. Washington Courthouse.
And they came in their white gloves, for Ruth had established that tradition for her studio audiences, and she gave them a chance to show them off on each show.
Let's wave to the folks who are watching. Say hello to the folks listening in. We want you to see. We hope you agree. We really are lovely on color TV.
You got a lot of people that watched that lived on farms and that sort of thing that didn't get around that much. And so she was their window to the world. She was very controversial. And people loved her for it.
Mr. Nixon, Mr. Kennedy are debating. I think they're being entirely too adorable, both of them.
Yes, they are. This won't be a fighting debate. I don't think either has the opportunity to ask the other a direct question.
I don't like that kind of debate. I like to just stand right up to one another and say, do you think so? Why do you think so?
Chin to chin.
Chin to chin.
No, I don't think so.
The way they're going to do it is that the members of the press will ask a question, and then...
Well, that's no debate.
Then they each
there should be no press in it if you're going to debate.
But they each get to answer, and then the other gets to criticize the other's answer. So that, in effect, will be a type of debate.
I wish I could have gotten in on that. There's a few things I'd like to know.
There wouldn't have been any time for them.
I want to find out where they're getting their dresses, you know? Isn't that silly, that business they're going on with now about where do the women buy their clothes? So what? You wear a Mother Hubbard or you wear a Dior gown? What's that got to do with how the United States works out? They're bringing in, that's why I say they're being too adorable. Let's get to the issues. Let's find out what we must know. And I think we need a little more toe-to-toe.
But in spite of the overwhelming support of her fans and the loyalty of her many sponsors, fate dealt Ruth Lyons a crushing blow. In June of 1966, her beloved daughter Candy succumbed to cancer. Ruth and her husband were devastated by the tragedy. She felt that she couldn't go on. The light had gone out of her world. After the tragic loss of her daughter Candy, Ruth Lyons withdrew from the 50/50 Club.
She kept in touch with the show by phone regularly.
We all wanted Ruth to return to this show.
And finally, John Murphy.
He was president of Avco Broadcasting at that time.
He got her to return.
But it wasn't the same, Miss Lyons.
And everybody has trouble, you know. Everybody has problems. And, of course, that's the hard part to keep on going. But you have to try, and I'm going to try real hard.
Although she showed evidence of the tremendous personal strain, there was one thing that drove Ruth Lyons to return to the 50/50 Club.
Now, of course, the Christmas fund is very important.
The now famous Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund originated in 1939. At that time, Ruth paid a visit to a local hospital. She toured the children's wards and was saddened to see that the children had no toys. She made a plea on a radio show and immediately began receiving donations. So the Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund was born. Over the years, it has provided toys for countless thousands of youngsters. I wish I could show you the toy truck I received when I had my tonsils out when I was 7 years old. It lasted many years and occupied an important corner of my toy box until it was too worn out to keep. Today, the fund continues, and the therapeutic work it accomplishes is acknowledged and appreciated by health professionals throughout our area.
From the point of admission on, we can see the therapeutic value of the fund. Just seeing the look on their face when they're handed their admission gift, it just brings tears to your eyes. This starts their whole admission with a very positive attitude, and we know that these types of attitudes can actually increase the recovery rate of children.
The fund was what drew Ruth Lyons back to her show in 1967, but with health and spirit failing, the day finally came when she could no longer continue. Walter Bartlett, then the senior vice president of Avco Broadcasting Corporation, visited the set of the 50/50 Club to read Ruth's farewell to her public.
After being with you daily over 18 years, I will never forget many of you who have done so much for me. To the many wonderful sponsors, but most especially you, the great audience out there, who for so long have supported my every endeavor and have written thousands of letters of inspiration and sympathetic understanding. And now I say goodbye with my love and appreciation for each and every one of you. And I hope that you will never forget, as it says in the second book of Timothy, I have fought a good fight, I have run my course, I have kept the faith. Signed, Ruth.